Hey guys, it's Matt here from Henry Shine, just doing a quick video taking you through the 3shape design studio, where you can design a crown and export it into Remexis, or you can also, obviously, I'll show you the Remexis site. So there's pros and cons to both. Obviously, Design Studio is a little bit dearer than what planmeca software is. However, the good thing about Design Studio is you're designing the restoration over a colored scan. So I'll show you. So imagine on this one, we've done this scan, we've done the case, and then we wanted to go in and start marking the margin. So this is Design Studio. Click on the margin on the tooth. So you can see when you've got color within your scan, you can bring the color in and out. So it makes it a little bit more clearer to see the margin. So that's a benefit, obviously, of having a color scan rather than an STL. But you can see here, we can click on the margin, and then Design Studio is going to try and detect where the margin is. Now you can obviously bring your color part in, and then you can start to draw where you want your margin to go. So Design Studio is basically made to try and be a little bit more simple. So So I find like a lot of the time they'll take, draw your own margin out of it. It's like, this is going to be the way that we want it to go, and then obviously you have to spend a little bit more time editing it and getting your margin correct where you want it to be. Now, after you've started to get your margin right, so we can then go on and go next and start to check out our path of insertion. That one's okay, it's preset to be that. You can change it if you wanted to. Sometimes it's easier if you're looking at it like that. So now it's creating a cement gap for us right now. So once this, I'll just enlarge the screen maybe a little bit, bring it down. So we can go next once the path of insertion is set. This is it, setting it up on a articulator. If you want to, you can go next, and then you can start to design your crown. So it's going to produce some sort of a crown. So you can change in here. You can change libraries depending on what the tooth looks like. So you can adjust it to. They've got a lot of libraries in there. Up here, it's going to let you know hard contact. It's still doing the calculating of the design, but essentially once a crown, if you've got an ideal prep, it's going to give you a pretty good proposal. You can obviously, as I mentioned, come in here and you can choose different libraries. So if it was more worn, you choose a different library where the tooth looked a little bit more worn, and obviously it just has to recalculate, and then once it recalculates, it will give you a new design. There's these quick tools, so there's transform. Transform, you can see there now, it's really looking more like the other anatomy. So you've got these quick editing tools on transform, so you can adjust it out, you can adjust this in. So you can see that now is over our minimum thickness, and then you can check everywhere else, make sure you're happy with everything. Obviously this area is minimum thickness as well, so you can use, say, the morph tool, and you can adjust the size. So that's that software. To give you a really brief overview, you can edit a whole heap of different things. So you can move things around. You can spend a lot of time editing. I find that a lot of the time with the editing, the less time you spend on it, a lot of the time the better it is. With Design Studio, I will say the one part about Design Studio that I wish was a little bit better is the margin thickness. So it's kind of got a pre-built in, so if I draw a line through here and we zoom in, it's got a pre-built in margin ramp that's quite thick. So I find a lot of the time it does that to stop the mill from over milling, but I find a lot of the time, depending on once again, where you're drawing your margins or where your where your margin is, it's going to be relative to what the crown's going to give you as a result. So now once that's done, after you've finished your designing in there, you can then export your crown. So for me, I'm just going to accept the hard contact. Obviously, you can also bring in the opposing, so you can see where it's just coming through. So once again, you could, if you wanted to, you can adjust for contacts just really quickly. If occlusal contact 0, and then that's going to adjust your contacts. Just make sure that you're happy with it. If you're happy with it, we'll go accept, and then you go and save it. Now this was preset that I've got the mill connected in, so cam, so that's that. You'd save it obviously as an STL. So within planmeca's software now, so let's say that's if you wanted to scan and design in Trios. So the software on the Trios is a little bit dearer, as I mentioned, as what planmeca is, but it does also have a yearly subscription on the Trios as well. So planmeca is quite viable there. But let's say if we were to go onto a patient, CAD CAM, so on this particular patient, I'm just going to go back. We're going to export. It's not going to allow me to do it because I've scans. There we go. That's better. So we'll change it to STL, and I'll just call this test. Save. Now for us, let's say if you wanted to design in Design Studio so that you had the color, then obviously you can design your crown, and then you can just go just import for milling. So what you'd do, you'd search out your crown that you just saved, which now I haven't fully done that. Mine's preset to go to a mill, but you can adjust it so that it will just save to an STL as well within here. So within the order form, if I had have done a scan, it's going to give me the option in here to actually save it to a folder. So now so if you did that, you could bring your crown into here, and then you could just mill it out. So if you wanted to use planmeca for design software, then you're going to come into here and you're going to import the STLs. So import the prep first. So the prep was the upper. We're going to import in the opposing. So the opposing was the lower. And we're going to go done. And then you're going to be doing your designing within planmeca, and you're going to be sending directly to the mill. So it's fine. Okay. So within planmeca, slightly different way to mark the margin. It's going to not have as many choices on your crown design, but so let's just choose 1.6 crown library, A material. We'll just go Emax, translucency, low shade, A2. And then obviously this is our scan. So what we want to do is we want to start to adjust this around. So see how you've got mesial, distal, and then if we zoom out, we've got buccal and lingual. So the idea is to look directly down and choose your path of insertion. So once that's locked in, we hit orientation. You can also just check to see if your occlusal plane's looking pretty good, which it is. So from here, now we can start to draw our margin. Now on here, we can use trace. Now, as I mentioned, because you don't have the color on here, you've got to know where your margins are, and you've got to be pretty certain where they are. So you might find that this particular workflow using planmeca, once again, if you know where you've marked the margin yourself, then you know where you can draw to. But if you're not 100% certain, then this does make it a little bit more tricky designing just on color. Sometimes if you've got a really sharp margin, then it doesn't really matter, to tell you the truth, because if you've got that really sharp margin and it's nowhere near the gum, then obviously it's going to take you no time at all to design. So we have to draw around the margin on planmeca software. We go into plan. So what plan does is it just gives us a proposal. We just move it around and adjust it to roughly the right position. You can see it's come through a little bit there, so I'm just going to move this down. Pretty good, and then we can go into design. So by locking in the orientation, by doing that just quick proposal there, then you can hit apply. So you can see our libraries here. So we got library A, library C. So not as many libraries to choose from on the interiors. However, what it does is it gives us a choice to edit detail. So let's say if we wanted to pull that detail back a little bit, you can. So you can see it's just taken some of the detail out. You can decrease the slope or increase the slope. And then wear as well is another factor where you can make it look a little bit more worn on some areas. After you've done that, you can hit apply, and it's going to give you a proposal of the tooth. So the autogenesis is going to give you something like that, and then you can start to do contact points. I didn't do the contact points on the 3shape, but you can start to play around with your contact points. You can use slice tools. So within the slice tool, you can come in here and just make sure you're happy with your contact points. You can also, if we come down here, there's quick editing tools. So you can adjust quick points there. You can check your thickness overall. Blue and green is good. Obviously around the margin being yellow, that's fine. You can thicken up certain areas if you wanted to as well. So contact points, if you bring that in. So your contact points, aqua is pretty good. That's what you want. So you can come in here and you can use, smooth. You can just smooth off some of your contact points if they're a little bit too heavy for you. There's rubber tooth. So let's say if you wanted to adjust some stuff around, you can use a rubber tooth to move bits and pieces of your crown. And once again, you can bring in the upper as well. So once you've done that, you can see where there's a little high spot there. So I'd use a slice tool on this. Slice through there. And then using the rubber tool, let's just decrease it down. You can just bring that down a little bit if you wanted to. Make sure you're all happy with the contact. So that's pretty much all the design done there, and then you can just go to the mill. So within the mill, you can choose where you want the sprue. So let's say something like that, and then you just hit send to mill. So that's your planmeca software, bringing in your Trios STL scan, or you can go the other way, which is the Trios software, where you can export your restoration, and then it will just go straight to this page. So your choice, which one you want it to go. As I mentioned, it might be worthwhile starting with planmeca, and then if, let's say, for the price difference between mill only and mill and design, it's most probably like if you call it $2,500 difference between getting the mill and design. Let's say if you struggled a little bit, depending on the odd case here or there, then you could obviously get your 3shape software as well, and you could use either or depending on what your prep was like. So, but as I mentioned, the workflows for both for you to use, and then once you hit send to the mill, it's just going to send directly to the mill. So that's everything that you need to know. So hopefully that gives you a little bit more insight into what might be best suited for you. If you want, feel free to give me a call and let me know. So all good. Cheers, guys. I think Nicole is going to be shooting you a quote some stage soon as well. So cheers, guys. Catch ya. Bye.